Hey, this is Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures, and you are listening to the ghost host, Sophia Temperilli, on LiveParanormal.com.
Today we are having on Dakota Laden. He is an accomplished filmmaker, screenwriter, director, and actor, as featured on Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures for his spot-on parody spoofs of the series. He has since then become part of the Ghost Adventures crew. Dakota was on the show last July to promote his documentary, A Trail to Terror, and is now excited to let us know about his collaborative music video release with Brock Berrigan. Everyone visit Dakota Laden on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Dakota Laden, at A Trail to Terror, YouTube, Dakota Laden Short Films with 2 Z's, 1, 2, 3, atrailtoterror.com, and everyone make sure to wish Dakota a very happy 22nd birthday.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, happy birthday, Dakota.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me. Totally.
Yeah, definitely. Happy birthday, and thank you for coming on today on your birthday.
Totally. I had so much I had to do, so you're so lucky that I came on.
I bet.
Well, definitely. I know you're out filming now, so you have a very busy schedule now.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just probably going to go bowling with my family. That's about it today.
Nice.
Well, that's still fun. I think the last time I went bowling, I was pretty young. My grandma used to take me, and she used to get really upset at me.
That's awesome.
So
you're
I know
on your
that
sixth year?
Yeah, I've been
your
every
sixth year of broadcasting? That's insane. Were you like 12 when you started?
Yeah, I was 12.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I know you also have your own YouTube channel that you started when you were very young. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved with Ghost Adventures in the first place?
Yeah, I started making like really dumb YouTube videos back when I was like 7. Well, not even YouTube videos, just regular videos I never uploaded. And then when I was like 10, I started to upload these videos. And, you know, they kind of sucked at the time, but that's how you get better. And so I started doing, when I was about like 12 years old, I started doing a new video every Tuesday. I kind of made it like a goal, like once a week I'm going to have a new short film uploaded to the internet. And then when I was about 14, after about 2 years of doing that, I stumbled across the show Ghost Adventures, which I'd already been into the paranormal a lot, but this is the first time I'd seen the show. And so I started watching it, me and my buddy Tanner, who I do a lot of my the short films with. And we were watching the show, and we loved it. You know, we pretty much watched, I think it was only like on season 3 at that point, or 4. And we had watched everything straight through, pretty much binge-watched it. And then, yeah, we decided to do like a parody of it. And the parodies, though, they weren't like, you know, we made fun of it in a sense, but it wasn't like that we were like hating on it because we loved the show. We even put that in, I think, the beginning of every spoof, like you know, we're fans. And then so I did these spoofs, and eventually Zach and Aaron and all the guys, they saw these spoofs, and they started tweeting them and Facebooking them. And then eventually I was brought on an episode, and then now I guess I kind of cut a lot there, but basically, yeah, I kept in touch with them. I went on an episode when I was 16, and then Zach kept in touch with me a lot, so did Aaron, and basically they just, I don't know, like Zach would reach out to me once a month and just hear me out, see how I'm doing, give me some advice, filmmaking advice. He's a really, you know, good mentor for me. And once I turned like 21-ish, he got in touch with me, asked me what I was doing, and then he's like, hey, do you want to come out and film another episode with us and just see what happens? And I went out, and from there I've just been doing them ever since.
Ghost Adventures crews, so they're so nice and definitely very welcoming, so it's very awesome that you're now a part of the crew.
It's so fun. It's pretty surreal. I just love it.
It's actually really funny, too. My best friend, she was watching Ghost Adventures, and my mom was talking to her dad, and he was like, oh, yeah, we were just watching a show, and, you know, they were just talking about the groups, and he actually brought you up. He's like, yeah, I saw like a 20-year-old on the show, and I'm like, oh, that's actually really funny, because he's going to be on my show this upcoming week.
That's awesome. 22, not 20.
I know. I said his birthday's coming up, so I did tell him that, Yeah, he
That's
was
awesome.
slightly confused, but yeah, it was pretty cool. So you're definitely getting recognized now a lot from it. And you've also recently filmed a music video for Brock Berrigan. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that all came about?
Yeah, well, Brock Berrigan, it's kind of a funny story. Basically, for like the last 6 years of me doing any sort of filmmaking or writing, pretty much writing really, I would always listen to Brock Berrigan. And back when I first started listening to him, he didn't really have hardly any followers. Now he's gotten a good chunk. He's got a good, amount of people listening to him. But back then he had hundreds of songs too. And I just play his music all day, every day, and just write to it because it's such good, classical, modern. I don't know, it's the coolest music. Still my favorite. And I don't know, so I did that for a long time, just listening to him. I got in touch with him, told him I was a huge fan, and he gave me permission to use his music in my YouTube videos. So I started using his music in my YouTube videos. And then a couple months ago, after my first episode with Ghost Adventures, I was showing Aaron Goodwin from Ghost Adventures, Brock Berrigan, and just showing him my favorite musician. And next shoot, I come back and Aaron's just like, dude, I can't stop listening to him. I love it. And that's kind of how it is with Brock Berrigan. Is once you listen to him a few times, you're just like, damn, I can't stop. And so I don't know, the idea was kind of planted right there. We're like, we should do something for him, like a video, and put our skills to the the test here. And we got in touch with Brock, and he was 100% down for it. He gave me a few song options to pick from, and I picked the Celebration song, which is probably my all-time favorite song of his. It's one of his first original songs and probably his biggest song. And so I wrote this weird, I don't know, it's cool because Brock came to me and when I asked him about kind of what he wanted. So Brock Berrigan, by the way, he wears a rooster mask. That's his
right.
So he wears a rooster mask. So no one knows what his face looks like. It's pretty cool. And so when I talked to him, that was kind of one of the things that he wanted to stick with was this whole animal mask world. And first thing I asked him was who his favorite filmmaker was and the favorite movie of that filmmaker. And his favorite filmmaker was Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction. And that's one of my favorite filmmakers too. And so I wrote this idea that's kind of it's not the same as Pulp Fiction, but it's similar where you have a bunch of storylines kind of all happening at once and then they all kind of intermingle at the end. And I did a Pulp Fiction meets Animal Mask world, people, weird. It's super weird. But it's cool. It's awesome. I love it. It turned out really good, and we'll be releasing it soon.
Yeah, I saw all the Instagram posts about it and Snapchats, and it looks very cool, and I can't wait to see it when it comes out.
Yeah, it's cool. I'll be releasing it on December 4th, the music video. And then one thing I'll be releasing on December 4th as well on my YouTube channel. So we're releasing the Brock Berrigan music video will be on his record label's YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. They're one of my favorites. And on my YouTube channel, I'll be releasing an 11-minute behind-the-scenes making of, taking through the audience pretty much the whole entire shoot and all the craziness that happened with Aaron and myself and Tanner and Brock. And so it's really cool. The behind-the-scenes video is badass. So yeah, I'll be releasing both those on the 4th. Yeah, it's awesome. Gives less people kind of see. I mean, because we did it for really cheap. We did it for almost nothing, just to kind of show. I don't know. I like putting out these videos behind the scenes to kind of show younger filmmakers, people who are on the rise, that hey, you don't really need a ton. Using a wheelchair half the time.
Yeah, I saw that. It's definitely a very effective method.
Yeah, it's awesome. He looks like a little glide cam in a wheelchair. You'll see in the behind the scenes. It's used a lot.
You also got to sit down while doing that too, which is always a plus.
Yes, I hate standing.
Same, honestly.
So, walk us through the making and how you felt when your parody YouTube video of Paranormal Activity 4 hit 1 million views.
Okay, this one's a funny story. So I was actually in a class in my high school called Broadcast Media, which was kind of the only film option I had. And at the time, I'd already been doing it for a while now on YouTube. And I was taking this class, and we got, obviously we got an assignment. You have to go make a video. And so the idea I had was, I'm going to do a spoof of Paranormal Activity. And it had to be PG-13, which kind of sucked because a lot of my stuff on the internet was definitely R. And so I had to hold back a little, but I made this video for my class. I didn't even think I was going to release it on YouTube, and then eventually I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just put it out there. I did it. It gets like 1 million views, which is crazy. Like I was like, what? Like this is insane. It happened fast too. And I got a B on the freaking project. I don't know how. Like, isn't that the goal? Like, go viral? Like,
yeah.
I don't know what the hell. I was so mad. I was like, well, how do you do? I don't know. I was so mad. I was like a freshman in high school too.
I can definitely relate to that. That kind of happened to me in high school. I went to a career high school, so we were trying to figure out like a better way to design football helmets, like with CTE and everything affecting football players. And I had an idea to use like military grade Kevlar, and I actually brought some in, and like I don't think we got like a really great grade, but I brought in military grade Kevlar, and I'm still upset about it.
It withstood 1,000 pounds per square inch too in a test.
Yeah, we even stress tested it. I'm still upset.
The system is rigged.
Sometimes. No, honestly, I think it was. Yours probably was too. It's all rigged.
I was so upset though. Like, I don't know. I saw everyone else's videos too, and they weren't like, I don't know. I was like, how did I get a B? But I guess maybe in the long run it was better because it made me want to do better next time.
So I know you also
I guess.
Worked on some feature films. Can you tell us a little bit about what you took away while working on movie sets like that?
Yeah, it was actually really cool. I got really lucky with this. It was my senior year of high school. It just ended, and I had a couple buddies I was filming with, and one of them wanted to go to film school in LA, and he'd already gotten in, and I'd gotten into the school too. And I was really debating it. I was like, do I go? I knew I didn't want to, just because I felt like I was already on a really good path. I had learned more than most people probably had in my age. I didn't know if going was going to be worth it for me. I was totally freaking out. Like, this is the normal thing, though. Like, I should go. That's what everyone does, go to college. And all of a sudden, that summer, like the week before I was going to say yes or no, I got an email basically from this guy, told me, like, hey, I'm a really big fan of your YouTube videos. I stumbled across them. He's a guy from Italy, and he wanted to help me out. And he's like, I have this really big connection at Lionsgate, which is a really big production company in Hollywood. And so he gets me in. I did not believe him. I was like, there's no way. But so he gets me in touch with this guy at Lionsgate, and this guy's like one of the head board members. I was just like, oh my gosh. And this guy checked out some of the stuff I did, and he just asked me, like, what do you want to do? Like, where are you heading? What do you want to do? Yeah, you know, all that stuff. And I basically told him I didn't want to go to college. I really didn't want to. And the big thing I wanted was to get on a set somehow. And I was like as desperate as to say, like, I'd do it for free and just be like an intern almost. And he's like, oh no, like I'll get you something. And like a week later, I got another email from this Lionsgate guy, and he basically was like, hey, can you be in Pittsburgh in a week? And I was like, yeah, I can. And I got a production assistant job on the movie The Last Witch Hunter with like Vin Diesel and Michael Caine and Elijah Wood. And that was my first ever experience on a huge Hollywood set, and I was like the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the, you know, the totem pole there. I was delivering organic cold-pressed juices to the producers and actors and directors every day, 3 times a day, getting coffees, hardly seeing the set, but when I did, I took 1 million notes in my head. And then, so that was a huge movie for me, but I mean, for 4 months, I was literally delivering cold-pressed organic juices to these Hollywood bigwigs. That's it. And then, so after that, the guy from Lionsgate got in touch with me again, and he got me on a movie set in Ohio, pretty much right after this one. It was a Bruce Willis movie, and that one actually, I don't think it's been released. I don't know if it's going to be released either. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weird movie. But after that one, he put me on, so pretty much like 1.5 years, almost 2 years I did this. So I didn't really do much YouTube video or my own creative work. So that was like the hardest part about all this. Is I felt really like, I don't know, I was like twitching. Like I wanted to like make something so bad. And so the final movie they put me on was called Allegiant. It was part of the Divergent series where they had Divergent, Insurgent, and then Allegiant. It's like the like the Hunger Games. And so I did that one for 4 months in Atlanta. That one, I was still a production assistant, but I had a little bit more of a real job where I could actually be on set and help out more. And I don't know. I mean, it was just crazy, but it was so, for me, it was like I'd recommend every person on the rise in filmmaking to try to get on at least 1 or 2 big sets, just because you get to, like, see, like, this is the top level. This is it. This is all, you know, I don't know, just I realized how it's super complex, but it's also really simple. There's a lot of departments taking care of things, and it opened up my eyes completely where I was like, oh, my God, like, I can definitely do this. And so, yeah, after that, I haven't done one since, just because I've been really trying to focus on my own creative, personal stuff now. But, yeah, that was a crazy 2 years for me.
And I know later on you made your own full-length film, A Trail to Terror. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you got your sister, a groundbreaking member of the First National Women's Hockey League, to be cast on to go along with you on the journey?
Okay, well, basically, so during that last Allegiant movie, it was like the last month of that movie, I had made a friend, his name is Colin Smith, and actually I'd worked with him on the last Witch Hunter, too, like a year before that, and all of a sudden we're on the same set in Atlanta now, too, and so I just become really close to this guy, and he was a filmmaker. He actually was a camera operator on Paranormal State, which is kind of cool, which was like one of the OG paranormal shows. And I don't know, me and him just had like this common bond. I told him about all the Ghost Adventure stuff. He told me a little bit about Paranormal State stuff. He wasn't on it for that long, but he had a pretty big interest in the paranormal. And so on the last month of this movie set, me and him, we had like an extra day off on one of our weekends, so we went down to Panama City and just drove down there for fun. And on our way down there, the whole time, all we did was tell ghost stories, just the whole time. It was just like a 2.5-hour drive of just ghost stories, and we were just loving it. And when we got to Panama City and we were hanging out, and slowly throughout that weekend, we kind of started being like, let's do something. Let's do a paranormal something. I don't know what. And like we both agreed, like I don't think we should hunt ghosts just because like we're not really at that level yet. Like I don't even know how really at this point in my life I don't know. We both were like, okay, we're not paranormal investigators, but we want to do something with the paranormal. Mm-hmm. And so what we did was the whole idea was kind of born there. It started there where it's like, let's not do something paranormal, but let's see, what can we do? And then when I got back from Panama City and Allegiant was over, I called him because I finally had like the right idea, and I called him and I just said, like, I think I said 8 days, but I was like, what if we did 8 days in a row at 8 of like the top scary places in America, and every night we're in a new building, and every day we're on the road traveling to that new building. And then he loved, like, boom, right away we started with this idea, like, okay, that's cool. And then I had the idea, I'm like, wait, I'm not going to tell you guys where we're going either. And so he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you can't know. That'll be part of the whole thing is I'm the only one who knows. And then so he's like, okay. And then, like, me and him just got really excited about this idea. And then to get my sister, Chelsea, involved, it's actually funny. I played a little bit of a manipulation card. She was driving back from our house in Minnesota to Connecticut where she lived. And I very easily volunteered. I was like, I'll drive you. Love you. And that whole drive there, that's all I did was talk about it. And I pretty much halfway through that drive, I was like, can you be in it, please? I need like a female who's also like really like intense and can handle this, like, because she's a professional hockey player, way more of a man than me. And so she was like, okay. And she's actually always been into the paranormal too. Me and my sister Chelsea and my other friends like Tanner, and we would always, like, when we were really young, would like break into like hospitals and stuff. So like she's always been into it. I know that. So I felt like she would do it, and she agreed to doing it. And I think afterwards she regretted that. But yeah, so what it ended up being was 5 nights in a row at 5 of the top haunted abandoned locations in America. I was the only one who knew where we were going, and they didn't. And there was no ghost hunting or anything, but it was still really cool to see what happens when you throw 4 bodies into a building and just have them wander around, not looking for anything. And we still had a lot of stuff happen. And then halfway through every night, at around like the 6-hour mark, we would then draw out of a hat. We would all pick the 4 scariest places in the building, and then draw out of a hat, and that's where you had to go sleep for the next 4 to 6 hours. And that was the whole thing. It was just, and then 5 nights in a row of that. And I haven't released it yet, actually, but it's awesome. It was a really cool kind of like beginner's look into the paranormal. Yeah, that's kind of why I haven't released it yet. Is I want to let this. It's kind of like that, like my beginning introduction to the paranormal a little bit. I wasn't quite, into the ghost hunting it yet. I was just kind of getting introduced to it in a sense. But I'm going to release it soon. I just don't know when yet.
Well, it's definitely a very awesome film. I remember you talking about it last time, and I can't wait to see it. It definitely sounds amazing, and it's something that, is very different from other things out there because, like you said, you're not an investigator, so you just went there to see what happened, and it's different because you weren't out there looking for ghosts, but you were wanting to see what happened.
That's true, yeah. And it was actually really cool to see, like, that's actually, a lot of this opened up my eyes to this whole paranormal stuff because, like, the way we shot this was really hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. We would, every night was a new night in a new building in a new state, and we had to make that work. And I also had to make sure at every location I was able to get in interviews and creepy B-roll shots. And it wasn't like interviews like you see on Ghost Adventures. It was more of like a My Haunted Story type interviews where it's just camera angles and the person kind of talking to the camera, only telling their stories. But what it was basically we'd get to, let's just say, Indiana, and I would drop Tanner and Chelsea and them off at a hotel. They still didn't know where they were going yet. I would then drive to the location with my camera stuff where I had some people I would meet there to do interviews. I'd do that for like 3 hours, just interview these people, get their creepy ghost stories, get a few creepy shots of the building, go back to the hotel where I trusted that they didn't look into where we were yet. But they told me they didn't. I mean, that would have just been kind of like we made it this far, and now you're going to Google where we are. So they didn't. But I would then go pick them up at the hotel, get them to the location by like 8 o'clock, and then we would start our whole overnight there. And it was tough. It was really hard for me, but it was cool because in 5 days, that's the whole movie is all shot in 5 days only. So all the interviews you see and stuff. I don't know. I got 1 hour of sleep, I think, after like 3 days.
Oh God.
I couldn't sleep in these buildings either. Yeah, it was really hard to like. Yeah, I think it's honestly almost been a year and a half now. I think I was 19 when we shot this, so I'm turning 22 today. That's crazy.
Yeah, I lived in a haunted house. It was definitely, very hard to fall asleep because something's there. It's a very creepy experience to have.
It was actually really funny because I obviously didn't get to, like, see any of this footage until I got back home. And so we all had cameras on us when we were filming. And I just kind of pictured, like, everyone would do what I was doing, or we just, like, I laid in my sleeping bag, tried to shut my eyes sometimes. Sometimes I'd be patrolling the area. But then when I got home, I watched over the footage, and my buddy Tanner, he didn't sleep. He didn't even try to sleep once. The whole time, his sleeping bag was wide open, and he was sitting on his butt with his back against the wall, just looking left and right constantly with his flashlight. Like, oh, my God. It's actually really funny, the documentary. It has some good, like, funny moments, too.
And I know we have to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more questions.
Hi, this is Jeff Belanger, host of 30 Odd Minutes, founder of GhostVillage.com, and author of lots of your favorite paranormal books, and you're listening to the Ghost Host, Sophia, on LiveParanormal.com. Boo!
Hey, this is Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures, and you are listening to the Ghost Host, Sophia Temperilli, on LiveParanormal.com.
Congratulations, Sophia Temperilli.
Sophia Temperilli,
The Ghost Host, celebrating 6 years of broadcasting
on LiveParanormal.com.
Thank you again for coming on today.
Yeah, totally. Anytime.
So, can you walk us through what the moment was like when you first showed up to film with Ghost Adventures as part of the crew?
Yeah, so it's probably not the time when I was 16, but it was actually for the most recent one, right? When I first started filming with them. Okay, yeah. So it was actually really cool because like I said earlier, Zach Zach would always, he'd keep in touch with me. I'd keep in touch with him, and it's just a really mentor type figure in my life, and would give me a lot of advice. And so he called me, asked me, what I was doing at the time. I really wasn't doing much, just a lot of like freelance editing work and stuff like that. And he's like, all right, hey, do you want to come out and shoot an episode with us? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And so they flew me out to Utah, where we did the Asylum 49 Revisited episode, which was the second time they went back. When they went back to Asylum 49. And so, there wasn't really anything. It was just like, let's just feel it out. Let's see how this works. And so I showed up. I filmed with them day one where they do their interviews. It was great. Aaron gave me his camera. I shot on it pretty much the whole day. They were just, giving me pointers and advice and tips, and, I was kind of just studying how they do it, because it's a really, really raw shoot. It's a lot of just like running gun, whatever happens, and you can't really predict what you're going into. It was really cool to see, so I was getting the hang of it, and I get along with the guys really well too. We all have a very similar sense of humor, and it was a really fun day. And so then day two comes around, and it was just more shooting and filming. And then basically by the end of this, the last day, the day of their lockdown, Zach asked me, like, hey, we're doing another one in Utah in 2 days. Do you just want to stay and maybe do that one too? And I was like, hell yeah, I'll do that one too. And so they did their lockdown that night. I left back to the hotel, and then I did another one with them, and it was even more fun. And I got to, I don't know, it was just a really good experience. And after the second one, Zach kind of sat me down, he had a little talk with me, and just asked me, am I enjoying it? Do I like it? Obviously, I was enjoying it, and yes, I definitely liked it. And he asked me if I wanted to be kind of like a full-time crew member now, like a camera operator. And, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And so I went outside and told everyone, like, hey, Dakota's the new crew member now. Like Aaron and Jay and Billy, and it was cool. We all shook hands, high fives, and
Jeez.
It was awesome. It just happened. It was really natural, though. It wasn't like he called me one day and was like, hey, do you want to be on the show? Or it wasn't. It was totally. It could have not happened, but I feel like it felt right. I bring a very similar sense of humor to the table when we're all just hanging out and not filming. And so yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. It was awesome.
From the Snapchats, I see you guys all really work well together. I've also seen you help out a lot when moving stuff into the van, which is cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's cool too, because on there, so when you watch the show and you see the creepy B-roll stuff of the reenactments or the creepy shots of the buildings, Zach actually has me doing a lot of that now too, which is really fun. That's usually one of the 3 days of the shoot. I go and do that, and I've been learning a lot doing that too, just about lighting and all that. They have a DP who they shoot with, and this guy's really good, and he just gives me a lot of advice. And I don't know, it's cool because I can tell that it's Zach's definitely rooting for me and wants me to keep learning, and this is one way that he can help me. And it was awesome.
Right. Yeah, we have some callers here, too. Let me go ahead and I'll open up the switchboard. Yeah, hi, 219 number. Hi, what's your name? You're on Dakota. And your dog.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Gabby.
What's up,
Hi,
Gabby?
You're on with Dakota on his birthday.
Okay, Dakota, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Listen, my friend and I have been really big fans of your YouTube channel ever since you guys started it. And what tips would you give for somebody who wanted to do what you're doing?
What advice? Well, actually, it's pretty simple, but use the internet. The internet you don't even need school anymore. If you want to learn it, you can learn it faster on the internet. If you want it, though. And my biggest advice would be if you really want to take this seriously and make a career out of this, is to do kind of what I did back in the YouTube days, is to make something new every week. Try to push yourself, look up a tutorial on YouTube and try to learn that effect or that style, and go test your skills. And I don't know, just use the internet to your advantage, because there's everything. I still use it every day where I Google something, how do I do this? And that's how I do that effect. It's so easy now. Not easy, but if you want it, you can find it.
Yeah, thanks, Gabby.
Thank
you, Gabby. Yeah, thanks for supporting all the videos and everything, too.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a caller here. It might be one of your professors on a ledge somewhere after you said that you don't need college anymore. Let me see here. This is a 519 number. Hi, what's your name?
Carly.
Carly, hi, you're on with Dakota. Hi, Carly.
Hi, Dakota. Happy birthday.
What's up, Carly? Thank you
Not
so
much. How about you?
You know, just on this radio show talking to Carly.
Are you ever going to have a meet and greet?
Yeah, I could do that. I should get like a manager, someone to manage that. I don't even know how I'd throw that, but no, that'd be awesome. I'd have to like narrow it down to like a state though, or a few states. But yeah, totally. Yeah. I would do that. Where are you from?
Ontario.
Ontario? I go there pretty much once a year with my dad.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe a little Ontario meet and greet. But no, I probably will, yeah. I'll definitely do something like that eventually here.
Okay.
Yeah, appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Carly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Carly.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, definitely. Yeah, we have a caller here, a 618 number. Hi, what's your name? Yeah, 618?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Yeah, you're on with Dakota. Hi, what's your name?
Oh, my gosh. Are you serious?
Yes.
Hi, Dakota.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. What's your name?
Brianna.
Brianna? What
yeah.
up, girl?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
What?
My question is, I'm trying not to freak out right now. What can we expect from tonight's episode?
Tonight's episode? Oh, yeah, I got a pump. Yeah, that's a great question. Tonight's episode is the Pythian Castle in Missouri.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give away too much just because I want everyone to watch it, but this one was like, obviously it's just a freaky building because it's a castle and that's scary. But what was really cool was like, you'll see in the episode tonight, like the second we officially walked in the door, when we were doing interview stuff too, it wasn't even like investigation type stuff. The second we walked in the door, there was right away stuff started to happen that was pretty crazy. And I don't know, you'll see it tonight. It's pretty funny. And there's a really good sword fight in the episode tonight. You'll see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
All right. Yeah,
okay,
thanks, Brianna.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
How does it feel to have such a large fan base through all of this?
I mean, it's awesome. That's kind of like everything you hope for, you know, when you're making content, is that you have a following of people who like it and can watch it. And anyone who supports the stuff, I feel like I could become friends with, just because that means they have a similar sense of humor or style. So, I don't know, I love it. I think it's awesome having people out there who really dig what I do, so it's cool.
Speaking, you know, of sense of humor, going back to when you were 16 with the spoof entry, can you tell us what you feel Zach Baggins really saw in the parody that stood out through all of the rest of the videos?
Damn, that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, I think my guess is that he just saw that I was so young. Because the first spoof I actually did, I was 13 or 14. And I think he just saw that I was young, and I don't know. I don't know. I think he just maybe saw that I was talented, and it wasn't like he saw it right away, though, and was like, I want you to be, you know, he let it happen naturally. He'd keep in touch with me and just see if I'm still working hard and stuff like that. And I don't know. I might have to ask him that in the next one. Like, Zach, what was it? Was it my eyes, or was it my nose?
It might have been the hair.
It could have been the thick hair.
Yeah. Zach's big on the hair,
I think it was my eyes, though.
Yeah, I can probably guarantee that's exactly what Zach saw. He saw your eyes, and he knew immediately that that's what he wanted.
Good God. I hope he's listening to this right now.
That's probably what happened when he called you out to film 2, becoming part of the Ghost Adventures crew. After the second time, he realized he couldn't just let those eyes disappear from him.
Funny thing about my eyes is I had, like, really big eyes when I was still in the womb. And they actually told my mom I was going to probably have Down syndrome, which is crazy. But I just had really big eyes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, off topic, ADD. But
it's okay. The only thing I know about my eyes is I can't see, so that's cool.
Oh, you need contacts.
I can't either. I have glasses.
Yeah, thanks, Dad, for that one.
It's a sad thing.
It really is. So
you should be embarrassed.
Sorry. I really should be because
I would probably lose them if I didn't keep them next to my bed because they're brown. So I actually have lost them before, and they were right there. So that was cool.
Like the Thelma from Scooby-Doo. My glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see.
No, actually me, yeah, I don't know. It's just bad. So
when I was filming with Ghost Adventures on the Queen Mary, I know one of the questions a lot of people asked is, is everything that happens real, and what were the guys like? Is there anything about working with the Ghost Adventures crew that we may not realize from watching the show?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already touched on it a little bit, but, it's very raw. That's the thing about it. It's almost harder to film because when we go in there every day, there's not, a shot list. There's not, a schedule. The schedule literally is we're going to interview these 3 people, and then from there, it's whatever happens, happens. And so that's, for the real or fake question, I've been with them for 14 episodes now, and I can 100% tell you that this stuff is very legitimate. And it's pretty freaky, too. It's opened up my eyes even more than anything ever has, especially there's a few episodes in particular that really freak me out. But, I don't know. I mean, it's just they take when we have, one giant van full of, film equipment and one giant van full of paranormal investigation tools. And, if they weren't legitimate, they wouldn't have all these hundreds of devices that they use on every episode. And that's the thing, too, is, there's so much that they do that doesn't make it. Because people always see this episode and how do they get so much in every episode? It's because they investigate forever and ever and ever until they have enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there's hours and hours where nothing happens. And, but it's great. I mean, it's cool. I think it's really cool just seeing how raw it is.
And within your time on Ghost Adventures, what has been your scariest experience so far?
Probably, okay, there's a few coming to my head right now. I'll say 2 or 3 that were just creepy. Some of them you won't ever see on camera, but just because they weren't caught on camera. But Zach's Museum was number 1 by far. We were filming there for I'd say it was on our 3rd or 4th day. We shot a lot of stuff there at his museum, and so I'd kind of gotten used to it now as my home. Not my home, but I mean I'd spent 10+ hours there every day, and it was just weird. It starts to get into your head after you're there for so long. It's a really creepy museum. There's every room has something that's pretty mind-bogglingly creepy, and we were filming in part of the episode one night, and somehow scratches appeared on my back, and I have no idea how to explain that. I'm not like the allergic type where I react easily. My skin's actually not even close to being sensitive, and these marks just appeared out of nowhere, and that sat with me for a long time. It still has. It's definitely, when I went back to Vegas last time, this was after we'd already filmed that episode, I actually didn't even go back to his museum. I actually even tweeted, I was like, I'm going to go to his museum tomorrow. And I didn't even go. I was so scared. I got to Vegas. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to go back there right now. I'll give it a little more time. But there's also been a few times while filming, the B-roll shots I was telling you guys about, those creepy hallway shots and stuff you see in the episode. where I'd be like alone with my camera and some lights, getting some creepy shots in a psych ward away from everyone, and I'd hear like what sounds like someone clearly walking, as if like someone's like about to come check in on me. So I'd like finish my shot, and then I'd turn around and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And there's like no one there. Into the room where I thought it came from, no one there, and stuff like that, where you're like, "Oh shit!" Like that was not anyone. That was a ghost. That happens a lot.
Right.
Filming with them. There's so much that happens that doesn't make the episodes. It's crazy.
Definitely. When we filmed on the Queen Mary, there was a few EVPs that didn't make it onto the show, and it was definitely an experience like I've never had before. It was very creepy and very real. I know we're coming towards the end of the show, though. Are there any productions, announcements, websites, upcoming interviews, or future events that you would like to mention?
I mean, honestly, check out the episode tonight on Ghost Adventures, the Pithy and Castle. It's going to be a pretty sweet one. December 4th, I'm releasing the Brock Berrigan music video, which is cool because I didn't say this yet, it's not like it's not a music video, it's a short film pretty much. It's like, it tells its own story because his music doesn't have lyrics, so it's a really cool 3.5-minute, be weird visual story, and that comes out December 4th, as well as the behind-the-scenes making-of video, a 12-minute look into how we made it with Aaron Goodwin in it, me, Tanner, all my crew, and that's really cool too. So December 4th, that's coming out, and yeah, just follow me on Twitter and Snapchat and Insta at Dakota Laden. Sorry, I do weird voices.
Nice.
No, it's fine. I actually do that a lot too. I just am more awkward when I'm talking to people, so no one would ever know.
It was funny. I did like on my Snapchats. I always do like really weird. I never like do a normal Snapchat like, "Hey guys, just eating dinner." Like I never do that. I always just do like really weird, goofy things. And so like a lot of people started messaging me like, "Do you have a lisp or what's wrong with your voice?" And I had to finally make a Snapchat where I'm like, "Hi, this is my normal voice." I don't actually, because I don't ever take anything seriously on Snapchat. I'm always just goofing around.
Yeah, when I'm with my family, that's all I do. But when I have friends over or anything, they don't realize I do that.
It's so fun.
Definitely, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. No, this is awesome. Good time. Totally. Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so
right,
much,
we'll
and happy birthday, Dakota.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dakota. Yeah, it's the Ghost Host Show with Sophia Temporelli on liveparanormal.com. Fantastic show, Sophia.
Dakota was a great guest. I want to thank everyone who called in and was listening today, and I'll talk to you guys again in 2 weeks. Bye.
Hey, this is Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures, and you are listening to the Ghost Host, Sophia Temporelli, on liveparanormal.com.